ball in the 10th frame gives her the opportunity to throw 2 more balls and can actually strike out for 208, which would keep her in touch, but she certainly needs to get things going for the second game.
She certainly likes this new ball. You'll often see players make a change. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But it appears to have given Zara a bit more confidence here. Been quite aggressive with these last 2 shots. Now can she turn this into a triple? Turkey. No. Well, that's disappointing.
Yeah, that one just sailed by, unfortunately. It was a higher friction ball she'd turned to, but that one just sailed on by. Obviously got caught up in some lane oil that may well have carried down on the line that she's playing. She's left herself the 2 and the 10 pin. Tricky little spare, but that's another open frame at the end there, and scores 195, so 50 pins adrift after game 1.
Yeah, that's a shame for the 3-time world champion. Has such an impressive record in world 10-pin bowling, but here at the World 10-pin Masters, Zara Glover once again struggling in the first round. Chris Barnes, though, of the USA, the defending champion, looking good.
So Chris Barnes has found the pocket and has locked in, but will Zara be able to respond to the pressure? Join us for more action after the break. Come back. Well, we're halfway through our first game and Zara made an excellent start, but now she's starting to sink into the shadow of Chris Barnes. Let's head back over to our commentary team.
Zara Glover then, trying to claw back this 50-pen deficit. Didn't do a tremendous amount wrong, you'd have to say that. She just came up a little light in the pocket on a few occasions. Had a change of ball as well with her strike ball. Needs to get off to the best possible start, but as Cass Edwards alongside me in the tribune has said, she's also got to rely on Chris Barnes making a few mistakes, and well, I've not heard the word mistake and Chris Barnes mentioned in the same sentence for a long time.
Well, absolutely, yes, Simon, you're right. I mean, the number of times he scored over 200 last year is just unbelievable. In fact, in the semi-final last year against Alex Liu, he went through the 500 barrier with 2 games of 250 plus. So he kind of likes this lane.
And let's not forget the 75 maximums, the 75 300 games that Barnes has bowled on record. We'd like to see another one of those. Good to start talking about the maximums nice and early. We've had one, Jason Belmonte, a couple of years ago. And that'll do as a start from Chris Barnes.
That's just started for 12, isn't it? Another 11 of those and we have the 300 go.
You make it sound so easy.
Well, actually, some of these... You sit and watch a few 300 games, some of these bowlers do make it look rather easy. They seem to get locked in and loaded, get the pin action, and they just sail through 12 strikes in a row. In fact, I've actually seen 2 300s back to back from an old friend of ours from the Masters many years ago, Mr. Purvis Granger.
Never nervous, Purvis.
Recently had back-to-back 300 games in a tournament down in the Philippines.
Good work, nice comeback from Zara. Responds to Barnes' strike with her own. Well, you talked about the bowlers making it look easy, and I guess an appropriate time to talk about the quality, Cass, of this field.
Oh, unbelievable. This is one of the best fields we've had in this Party Poker World 10-pin Masters field. I've counted, I think, 11 former or current world champions, plus Chris Barnes from the PBA, who recently finished second in the PBA World Championships a couple of weeks ago. And he rings himself another strike, so he starts with a double in game 2, extending that lead over Glover.
Yeah, it's a bit of a who's who up in the bowler's green room. Fascinating as well when you get talking to these guys and talking to them about their sport, about the lane condition, about the form that they're in. There's a tremendous amount that you can learn, and the bowler's so accessible at this tournament. Very easy for the fans to get to talk to them. Great work. So Zara Glover doubles it up as well. Just that spare at the start, the blot on her scorecard so far.
Yeah, nice little shot, nice and high on the headpin. Not too much hook, and carried all 10 very nicely indeed. Actually, Simon, you were saying about the players in the green, in the players' room, in the green room, we'll call it. Actually, there's many of them sitting in the players' area in the arena tonight. Obviously, with respect, I want to watch Chris Barnes shoot some big numbers, and that's another one. 3 strikes in a row for Barnes, right out the trap. And he's looking pretty hot.
Yeah, Chris Barnes appears as favourite player on quite a few of the profile forms that get filled in and handed to us as commentators, and it's no surprise to see most of the bowlers out here watching one of their heroes in action against Zara Glover.
Simon, he's actually got lined up from the end of game number 1, where he finished with 6 strikes, and he's carried straight into game 2 with another 3, so that's actually 9 strikes in a row he's already bowled. It's just unbelievable stuff.
But Glover in there fighting.
Oh, 3 in a row for Zara. Well done, Zara.
Well, by far this is one of her best 10-pin Masters performances. As I said, she's never made it past the first round, but giving a really good account of herself here. And I think the pressure's off, isn't it? There's not too much pressure playing against someone like Chris Barnes. You've just got to get out there and play your game.
I think she would like to finish with a reasonable game and walk away and say, well, I've done my best, and if she can finish with 220 this game, it would certainly be no shame. Barnes on the other hand, well, what potential has he got? He's on a 300 at this particular time. Yeah. He's shot 9 strikes in a row. So who's going to stop him?
Well, the pin's up.
Well, it's the old devil 10-pin, isn't it? Just a little bit soft in the pocket there. But the reaction in the back end, it all turned up quite nicely. Didn't quite hit with the velocity to kick that 10-pin away.
Yeah, put the commentator's curse on him there, Cass.
Yeah, it's a job that's normally reserved for Nick Halling, who unfortunately can't be with us this tournament.
Nick will be watching this one with interest. Some great names at this tournament, some great names on the lane at the moment, but it's one man, this man, Chris Barnes. Despite the reaction on his face, he is dominating this match. Glover then working a turkey at the moment, this for 4.
Oh, this for the lead.
Bounce that one. Well, she's done that a couple of times tonight now, bounced the ball. She bounced a spare ball earlier, and she really threw that one down as well.
Yeah, the ball's just dropped off the hand here. There's the double bounce. Didn't get through the ball at all. And of course there's no rotation on it, and it's not going to hook up. Leaves the 1-2-4 and the 10-pin washout. It's the 10-pin in the corner that's going to cause the problem. Out comes that spare ball, the hard one. It should go nice and straight to hit that head pin, left-hand side, and jump it across. Unfortunately can't make it. Just takes out the 3 pins. In. An open frame after 3 strikes in a row is really not what Zara wanted to see. Disappointment for the domestic crowd here as well. Rooting for Zara, but at the same time they do like to see Chris Barnes shoot lots of strikes.
Yeah, that overall maximum dropping rapidly, 449. That's just about what Barnes shot over 2 games last year when he took the title against Paul Moore.
Yeah, 458 he rolled last year in the final, 226 and a 232 against Paul Moore.
That's good bowling.
It's not bad.
Oh yeah, harsh. Barnes then to try and get back into the rack, and he does so. His strikes are so concise. There's not a tremendous amount of mix and messing about. They all go down.
Yeah, this is pretty much a bit of a bowling lesson here. He's shown the crowd how good he is. Some of the league bowlers in the UK and tournament players know exactly how good he is. We've seen him before, and of course he's Masters champion. He's looking very relaxed.
I started out in college bowling for Wichita State, which is one of the best university programs in the U.S. I fought my way kind of through ups and downs from the 3rd team to the 1st team to the 2nd team to the 1st team. Learned a lot along the way, and was able to turn that into a stint on Team USA for 4 years, where I met many of the players that are in this tournament now. After that I went on the professional tour, where I have 8 titles, including U.S. Open, and been there for 9 years. And so the greatest part about this tournament, I get to see a lot of the same players that I saw when I was an amateur, and some of those guys have come over and bowled on the tour as well. So it's a much more social atmosphere, but the competition is still really good here. My father took me bowling when I was about 6 years old. At that time it was 3 games for about $1.50, which is a far cry from today. But I grabbed a 6-pound ball, and he taught me the basics, and it kind of went from there. Well, I think we all gravitate to what we're good at, and over time that became the thing I was best at. But you know, having a ball and knocking down objects, I guess, is always, it was just something that was in me, and now I see the same thing in my twin boys. They've loved the game from the very beginning. I mean, they have no idea what their mom and dad do, but you know, they love to take a ball and knock down stuff. I think I've always had a strong desire to try and to win, and you know, the thrill of competition has always spurred me on. You know, I hate losing, and maybe for a long time I had a big fear of losing. So that drove me in a lot of different ways. Some more successful than others, but now I enjoy the competition, and that's what brings me back. I think my father actually inspired me to be successful. I lost him when I was 10 in a house fire, and basketball and bowling were his two loves, and so those are the two things that I actually end up following the most. And basketball peeled off after high school when I wasn't genetically gifted enough to carry on, but the passion that he had for sports and for life and instilled in me, I think, is what's carried on to now. Because the competition is so tough, there's very little difference between the competitors, so small mistakes can make a huge difference in the final result. It makes it a much more stressful event when it's this short a format. The sprints don't allow for any mistakes really at all, and the ones you do, you have to be very lucky to survive.
I was over here last year with wife Linda, but she hasn't made the trip this year.
No, had to stay at home to look after their twin sons, 4-year-olds, Troy and Ryan. And talking to Linda last year, she said what a handful that's been, but so good that she and Chris are able to continue with their bowling, and at such a high standard as well. Good work from Glover. Another strike in the bag.
Yeah, just tries to cover that open frame, the 6 and the 3 in frame 5. Did some damage, but let's see if she can get back. Barnes working on a strike, frame number 6. Just another one.
Oh, it's incredible, and I hesitate to use the word machine, Cass, because he's so good to watch bowling. It's not like you're watching machine. There's some real character to the way Barnes bowls.
Yes, he doesn't look for that really sort of wide coast-to-coast sort of shot. He's very much down the lane, what we call down and in. He's looking very happy there. Really locked into this lane at the moment. He's obviously conquered the lane, and that's really what all the players want to do. They want to be able to beat the lane, and if you can beat the lane well, you're going to beat your opponent. And unfortunately, Zara has struggled just a little bit at certain times during this match.
This for a double. And a double it is.
Yeah, great stuff. Nice comeback. It certainly was a good shot. Yes, and it is the double through frames 7 and 8. Sorry, 6 and 7. And she's in there with a fighting chance still.
I think she knows the writing is on the wall, especially with Barnes in this sort of form.
Yeah, the two big open frames, and you did mention the first one, that is the damage that's done. If you have an open frame and you meet someone like Chris Barnes in the striking form that he is, it is those open frames that do the damage, and Zara unfortunately has had 2 of them.
He has this astonishing ability to concentrate for such long periods of time. Total focus with Chris Barnes. And there he is, just going through the mental rehearsal of the last shot, making sure that that's exactly what he comes up with next time out.
So you're quite right, yes, he just has to do the same thing over and over again. It's consistency and accuracy.
Good work, a turkey from Glover, the second one of this second game. 195 in the first game, so just below par, but she's got a decent chance of an over par score here, but I don't think Barnes is going to let up.
I don't think Chris will, no, but no, this is a better game from Zara. Unfortunately, she's had 3 strikes, a big open frame, and then 3 strikes again. And the open frame does so much damage to those string of strikes. Barnes is going walkabout now, or strikeabout.
Strikeabout it is, 4-bagger for the PBA bowler.
Locked and loaded. Oh, pacing 279 on this game too. And wouldn't that be great to see? The first match of the tournament. Really big scores.
Well, it's going to whet the appetite. There's the potential maximum for Barnes, and you can see streets away from Glover at the moment. That's assuming that both players strike out all the way to the finish. Glover's still got some work to do.
Yeah, it's frame 9, foundation frame.
Straight through the headpin.
Yeah, not her best shot. She will be disappointed with that, and she'll now know that the match is well and truly over. She's left the 3-pin standing on her own, on its own. Should be a straightforward spare with the hard plastic spare ball that will come out, and should have no trouble taking this one away.
Well done. So Glover spares, but not the best foundation frame for her. What can Barnes do? Can he turn this into a 5-bagger? Remember, it was a 6-bagger to finish off in the first game for Barnes. And it looks like he might be doing exactly the same thing again.
Yeah, three in a row, spare 4 in a row. This is big time bowling. And there's another one. It's the foundation frame.
And finally the smile. Well, magnificent stuff from the high roller. And he's not having any problems at all now, completely comfortable.
That's not a bad looking game on that score sheet there, bottom of the screen. And I'm sure he'll accept that any time you like. I think most bowlers would.
Well, what a way to send shockwaves through the rest of the tournament.
Well, he's sending out a message, isn't he? I'm the defending champion. I'm the guy you got to beat. Come on.
Go on. No, that obstinate 10-pin once again.
Yeah, it just wobbles in defiance, doesn't it? Takes Zara through the 200 barrier for the second game. Spare and a strike will give her 222, which is a reasonable game. Nothing to be disappointed about. Just unfortunate big open frame in the middle. Takes the spare away, earns herself a bonus ball to finish the match.
Plenty of regular fans in the audience here at Barnsley. So many people now put this date straight into the diary once they find out when the World 10-pin Masters is on. That's it, the weekend's booked in and we see them year in, year out. It really is a fantastic family atmosphere here. And a chance to see some of the world's best in action. Well, Brooklyn for Glover there, not quite going into the pocket that she was looking for, but 2-2-1. For that second game, that's an improvement in performance.
Aggregate score of 416. 200 average, 208 average. Unfortunately, wasn't quite enough. We spoke earlier on about 220 averages. Well, that's the sort of thing that players are going to need. And if you're coming up against Chris Barnes, well, 450, 460, 230 averages is maybe what you need.
Barnes then trying to turn 5 into 6. Does so, and that 279 is still on in this second game.
It's a pretty smooth ball, isn't it? Rolls very nicely down the lane, just turns up very casually. I think not looking for anything too fancy. And the forward roll just carries all those 10-pins away.
Well, he's a powerful guy, likes his golf, which definitely allies itself with 10-pin bowling, but also was a pretty decent guard in basketball, so the guy can look after himself. Great work. And Chris Barnes is turning on a masterclass here at the end of our opening match.
Well, that takes him through the 500 barrier, so he's averaged 250 plus for the first 2 games. And what a message that is sending out. Strike for 279. There you go, it's so easy, isn't it? What a fantastic game.
So 279 in the second game. That brings up a decent tally across the 2 games of 5-2-4 for Chris Barnes, the defending champion, just looking in majestic form once again. And despite the very best efforts of England's Zara Glover, she can't quite put the pressure on that was required in that match, and Chris Barnes from the USA marches on into the quarter-final.
There's a $70,000 prize pool, and with everyone looking for their slice of the pie, there's no time to sit back and enjoy the ride. Chris Barnes is the first through and will be defending his title in the quarterfinals. Now these guys have got their seats, so make sure you join us next time when Guy Kaminsky and Oskar Palermo will be taking to the lane for the partypoker.net World 10-Pin Masters.